page T 5.1, Political Science, Model Paper 5, Exercise 1. Who among the following is associated with the systems theory in international relations? A. Morton Kaplan, B. A. Hacker, C. Robert Keohane, and D. Ernest B. Haas. The correct answer is A, that is Morton Kaplan. See his book System and Process in International Politics. Exercise 2. Who among the following have advanced and developed new realist arguments? A. Oscar Morgenstern and Carl Dweck. B. Harold Laswell and G. A. Almond. C. J. L. Talmon and Dean Rusk. D. John Mearsheimer and Kenneth Walsh. The correct answer is D, that is John Mearsheimer and Kenneth Walsh. Exercise 3. Consider the following statements. 1. In the United States of America, an amendment of the Constitution may be made if the proposal is passed by 2/3 majority of each House of Congress and is thereafter accepted by a vote of the legislatures of 2/3 of the states. 2. In the American presidential elections, if no presidential candidate secures the minimum 270 electoral college votes needed for outright victory, the House of Representatives chooses a president from among the first 3 finishers in the electoral college. Which of the statements given above is oblique are correct? 1. A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, D. neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is C, both 1 and 2. That is 1. In the United States of America, an amendment of the Constitution may be made if the proposal is passed by 2/3 majority of each House of Congress and is thereafter accepted by a vote of the legislatures of 2/3 of the states. 2. In the American presidential elections, if no presidential candidate secures the minimum 270 electoral college votes needed for outright victory, the House of Representatives chooses a president from among the first 3 finishers in the electoral college. Exercise 4. Who among the following is an exponent of the conflict and peace studies? A. R. Luxemburg, B. Kenneth Boulding, C. H. Butterfield, and D. P. Laslett. The correct answer, Laslett, the P. Laslett, D. P. Laslett. The correct answer is B, that is Kenneth Boulding. Exercise 5. Consider the following statements in respect of the constitution features of Germany. 1. Specified human rights can be changed only by a constitutional amendment. 2. Any proposal to change the provisions concerning the federal structure or powers of the states within bracket Länder is inadmissible. Which of the statements given above is oblique are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, D. neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is B, that is 2 only. Human rights cannot be amended. Exercise 6. Which of the following approaches regards state primarily as an organization for the creation and enforcement of law and refuses to treat state as a social organization? A. Historical approach, B. Comparative approach, C. Legal institutional approach, D. Political economy approach. The correct answer is C, that is legal institutional approach. Model paper 5, page number T 5.2. Exercise 7. Which of the following statements is correct? A. Sovereignty resides in the state and is exercised by it. B. Sovereignty resides in the state and is exercised by the government. C. Sovereignty resides in the government and it is exercised by it. D. Sovereignty resides in the citizens and is exercised by the government. The correct answer is B, that is sovereignty resides in the state and is exercised by the government. Sovereignty resides in the state, but it is the government which exercises it on behalf of the state. Exercise 8. Which of the following statement is not correct? A. Jeremy Bentham preserved the individualist notion of moral autonomy with priority to individual interests. B. Bentham's greatest contribution was in the field of jurisprudence and government. C. Bentham considered the powers of the sovereign as indivisible, unlimited, alienable, and permanent. D. Bentham argued that a legislator should not take into cognizance factors like people's customs, prejudices, religion, and traditions while codifying the law. The correct answer is B. That is, Bentham's greatest contribution was in the field of jurisprudence and government. Bentham was a reformer, a utilitarian. He sought reforms in judiciary and government. Exercise 9. Match list 1 model of decision theory with list 2 within bracket features. List 1 model of decision theory. Under list 1 model of decision theory, in the vertical column against serial number capital A rational model, capital B organizational process model, capital C bureaucratic politics model, capital D individual decision making model. Under list 2 features as head, in the vertical column against serial number 1, decision makers rely on standard operating procedures. 2. Foreign policy decisions result from the bargaining process among various government agencies. 3. Decision makers make choice after calculating costs and benefits of each possible course of action. 4. Decision makers suffer from misperceptions or selective perceptions. Code in the horizontal column, the heads are capital A space capital B space capital C space capital D. Under the head capital A, in the vertical column against serial number A3, B2, C3, D2. Under the head capital B, in the vertical column against serial number A1, B4, C4 and D1. Under the head capital C, in the vertical column against serial number A2, B3, C2 and D3. Under the head capital D, in the vertical column against serial number A4, B1, C1 and D4. The correct answer is A, that is under the head capital A rational model. 3. That is, decision makers make choice after calculating costs and benefits of each possible course of action. Under capital B organizational process model. 1. That is, decision makers rely on standard operating procedures. Under the head capital C bureaucratic politics model. 2. That is, foreign policy decisions result from the bargaining process among various government agencies. Under the head capital D, that is, individual decision making model. 4. That is, decision makers suffer from misperceptions and selective perceptions. Exercise 10. For which of the following institutions in the United Kingdom additional members are elected on the basis of proportional representation? A. Westminster Parliament. B. Scottish Parliament and Welsh National Assembly. C. Northern Irish Assembly. And D. Local Council. The correct answer is B, that is Scottish Parliament and Welsh National Assembly. Exercise 11. Which of the following statements is correct? The within invert comma Neymar method for distribution of seats in the Bundestag is concerned with proportion of votes cast in favor of A. individual candidates in parliamentary constituencies, B. party lists presented in general elections, C. regional political parties in state elections, and D. local political parties in local elections. The correct answer is B, that is party lists presented in general elections. Exercise 12. What is the correct chronological sequence of the following events? 1. Indian Navy revolt. 2. Pune Act. 3. Salt Satyagraha. And 4. Morley Minto reforms. A. 2341, B. 4123, C. 2143 and D. 4321. The correct answer is D, that is 4321. 4 means Morley Minto reforms. 3 means Salt Satyagraha. 2 means Pune Act. And 1 means Indian Navy revolt. Morley Minto reforms in 1909, Salt Satyagraha in 1930, Pune Pact 1932 and Indian Navy revolved in 1946. Model paper 5, page T 5.3, exercise 13. Who among the following propounded the functional theory of rights? A. E. Barker, B. A. D. Lindsay, C. H. J. Lusky, and D. J. S. Mill. The correct answer is D, that is J. S. Mill. Exercise 14. Consider the following statements. 1. For the Parliament to make laws with respect to any matter enumerated in the state list, a resolution must be passed in both the houses of the Parliament. 2. A resolution passed as stated above can be extended beyond 1 year. Which of the statements given above is oblique are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, and D. neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is D, that is neither 1 and 2. A resolution to this effect has to be passed by the Council of States, authorizing the Parliament to make law on any matter enumerated in the state list. So 1 wrong, and since 1 is wrong, its resolution cannot be right, though its validity remains in force for 1 year. Exercise 15. Consider the following statements. 1. Zonal councils have been established under an article of the Constitution of India. 2. There is a provision under an article of the Constitution of India that an interstate council can be established by the President. 3. The Union Home Minister has been nominated to be the common chairman of all the zonal councils. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1, 2, 3, B. 1 and 2 only, C. 2 and 3 only, and D. 1 and 3 only. The correct answer is C, that is 2 and 3 only. 2. There is a provision under an article of the Constitution of India that an interstate council can be established by the President. 3. The Union Home Minister has been nominated to be the common chairman of the zonal councils. Directions. The following 8 items consist of 2 statements, one labeled as the assertion A and the other as reason R. You are to examine these 2 statements carefully and select the answers to these items using the quotes given below. A. Both A and R are individually true, and R is the correct explanation of A. B. Both A and R are individually true, but R is not a correct explanation of A. C. A is true, but R is false. D. A is false, but R is true. Now, exercise 16. Assertion A. Lenin wanted the Indian communists to support the bourgeois democratic movement in their country. Reason R. Lenin wanted to merge the communist movement with democratic movement. The correct answer is A, that is both A and R are individually true, and R is the correct explanation of A. Exercise 17. Assertion A. The structural adjustment program encourages state spending and budget deficit to spur growth. Reason R. The International Monetary Fund wants to ensure that money lent to a country is not spent for politically popular purposes, but it is spent for purposes without economically profitable motives. The correct answer is B, that is both A and R are individually true, but R is not a correct explanation of A. Exercise 18. Exercise 18. Assertion A. Fascism could not conceive of any sphere of human activity remaining immune from intervention by the state. Reason R. Fascism strove to unify the world by appealing to shared traditions of humankind. The correct answer is C, that is A is true but R is false. Exercise 19. Assertion A. The two-party system in the United Kingdom, devoid of local pressures, exercises an effective check upon group activities. I repeat again, the two-party system in the United Kingdom, devoid of local pressures, exercises an effective check upon group activities. Reason R. In multi-party system, there is hardly any intense pressure group activity at the legislative level. The correct answer is B. That is, both A and R are individually true, but R is not a correct explanation of A. Exercise 20, assertion A. During any period where the Vice President of India acts as President of India or discharges the functions of the President, he continues to perform the duties of the office of the Chairman of the Council of States. Reason R. The Vice President of India is the ex officio Chairman of the Council of States. The correct answer is 20D. That is, A is false but R is true. Now, political science, model paper 5, page T 5.4. Political science, model paper 5, exercise 21. Before going to exercise 21, I read the directions once again. The following items consist of two statements, one labeled as the assertion A and the other as reason R. You are to examine these two statements carefully and select the answers to these items using the codes given below. A. Both A and R are individually true and R is the correct explanation of A. B. Both A and R are individually true but R is not a correct explanation of A. C. A is true but R is false. And D. A is false but R is true. Now, exercise in page T 5.4 of model paper 5 is 21. Exercise is assertion A. According to Lenin, imperialism is the highest stage of capitalist development. Reason R. Industrialization and modern technology did not constitute a model for the development of the lesser developed countries. The correct answer is B. That is, both A and R are individually true, but R is not a correct explanation of A. Exercise 22. Assertion A. Fabianism is primarily a British middle class ideology. Reason R. Fabians are opposed to evolutionary method. The correct answer is C. That is, A is true but R is false. Exercise 23. Assertion A. A bill which, if enacted and brought into operation, would involve expenditure from the consolidated fund of a state must have been recommended by the governor to a house of the legislature of the state for consideration of the bill. Reason R. Such a bill cannot be passed by the house without the recommendation of the governor for consideration of the bill. The correct answer is A. Both A and R are individually true and R is the correct explanation of A. Exercise 24. Consider the following statements. 1. The chairman of the Council of States or Speaker of the House of the People or person acting as such shall not vote at any sitting of either House of Parliament or joint meeting of the Houses in the first instance, but shall have and exercise a casting vote in case of an equality of votes. 2. A person is qualified to fill a seat in the Council of States or House of the People if he is not less than 25 years of age. Which one of the statements given above is oblique are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, and D. neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is C, that is both 1 and 2. 1. Exercise 25. Consider the following statements in respect of an ordinance promulgated by the President of India during recess of Parliament. 1. Such an ordinance may be withdrawn at any time by the President. 2. Such an ordinance shall be laid before both houses of Parliament and shall cease to operate at the expiration of 6 weeks from the reassembly of Parliament or before that period if disapproved by both houses. Which of the statements given above is oblique are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, and D. neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is both 1 and 2. that is 1 represents such an ordinance may be withdrawn at any time by the President. 2. Such an ordinance shall be laid before both houses of Parliament and shall cease to operate at the expiration of 6 weeks from the reassembly of Parliament or before that period if disapproved by both houses. Exercise 26. On which of the following subjects does the Finance Commission of the State constituted under the Part 9 of the Constitution of India make recommendations to the Governor? 1. Distribution between the state and the panchayats of the net proceeds of the taxes by the state. 2. Determination of the taxes which may be assigned to or appropriated by the panchayats. 3. Grants in aid to the panchayats from the consolidated fund of the state. A 1, 2 and 3, B 1 and 2 only, C 2 and 3 only, and D 1 and 3 only. The correct answer is A, that is 1, 2 and 3 only. Now, the proposed answer is A 1, 2 and 3, B 1 and 2 only, C 2 and 3 only, and D 1 and 3 only. The correct answer is A, that is 1, 2 and 3 only. 1. Distribution between the state and the panchayats of the net proceeds of these taxes by the state. 2. Determination of the taxes which may be assigned to or appropriated by the panchayats. 3. Grants in aid to the panchayats from the consolidated fund of the state. Exercise 27. Consider the following statements. 1. The Parliament by law may appoint the Governor of a state as the administrator of an adjoining union territory. If a governor of a state is appointed to act as an administrator of an adjoining union territory, he shall exercise his functions as such administrator independently of his council of ministers. Which of the statements given above are correct? A 1 only, B 2 only, C both 1 and 2, and D neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is B, that is 2 only. If a governor of a state is appointed to act as an administrator of an adjoining union territory, he shall exercise his functions as such administrator independently of his council of ministers. The power of appointment lie with the President. Model paper 5 of political science, page T 5.5. Exercise 28. Which one of the following statements is correct? If the Chief Justice of India is to make a request for attendance at the sitting of the Supreme Court as ad hoc judge of a judge of a High Court, duly qualified for appointment as a judge of the Supreme Court. A. Only previous consent of the President of India is required. B. Previous consent of the President of India and consultation with the Chief Justice of the concerned High Court are required. C. Only consultation with the Chief Justice of the concerned High Court is required. D. Neither previous consent of the President of India nor consultation with the Chief Justice of the concerned High Court is required. The correct answer is B. Previous consent of the President of India and consultation with the Chief Justice of the concerned High Court are required. Exercise 29. Who among the following extends the jurisdiction of a High Court to or exclude from any union territory? A. Parliament by law. B. The President of India. C. The Chief Justice of India. D. Legislature of the state in which the High Court is situated. The correct answer is A. The Parliament by law. Exercise 30. Which among the following carries out demarcation of electoral constituencies in each states and allocation of seats in the Lok Sabha to different states? A. Election Commission. B. Registrar General. C. Delimitation Commission, and D. States Reorganization Commission. The correct answer is C, that is Delimitation Commission. Exercise 31. Which does the doctrine of within inverted comma pith and substance that guides the operation of judicial review in India imply? A. Distinguishing good and bad part of an impugned law. B. Examining whether the law-making authority has acted within its jurisdiction or not. C. Determining the extent of damage done by the law. D. Establishing credentials of the petitioner. The correct answer is B, that is examining whether the lawmaking authority has acted within its jurisdiction or not. Exercise 32. Which of the following is not stated as a directive principle of state policy in the Constitution of India? A. Organization of village panchayats. B. Uniform civil code for the citizens. C. Separation of judiciary from executive. And D. Right of minorities to establish and administer educational institutions. The correct answer is D, that is right of minorities to establish and administer educational institutions. 32D. It is Article 30 of the Constitution. Exercise 33. Which of the following is correctly matched? A. Shantanam Committee, Panchayati Raj Finances. B. Balwant Raj Mehta Committee, Panchayati Raj Institutions. C. G stop V stop K stop Rao Committee, Planning at the block level. D. Dantwala Committee, Administrative Arrangement for Rural Development Program. The correct answer is B. Balwant Raj Mehta Committee, Panchayati Raj Institutions. Exercise 34. Which of the following constitution within inverted comma amendment acts provided for the formation of the Metropolitan Planning Committee? A. 42nd Constitution Amendment Act. B. 44th Constitution Amendment Act. C. 73rd Constitution Amendment Act. D. 74th Constitution Amendment Act. The correct answer is D, that is 74th Constitution Amendment Act. Exercise 35. What were the objectives of the introduction of the Joint Consultative Machinery JCM within inverted comma by the government? 1. To promote harmonious relations between the government and its employees. 2. To secure the greatest measure of cooperation between the government and employees in matter of common concern. 3. To increase the efficiency of public services. And 4. To maintain discipline in the civil services. A. 1, 2 and 3 only. B. 1, 3 and 4 only. C. 2, 3 and 4 only. D. 1 and 4 only. The correct answer is A, that is 1, 2 and 3 only. The correct answer is then 1 represents to promote harmonious relations between the government and its employees. 2. To secure the greatest measure of cooperation between the government and employees in matter of common concern. And 3. To increase the efficiency of public services. Page T 5.6. Political Science, Model Paper 5, Exercise 36. Which of the following was were suggested by the National Commission to review the working of the Constitution within bracket 2002? 1. Governors should be appointed by a committee comprising the Prime Minister, Union Home Minister, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha and Chief Minister of the concerned state. 2. Retired or defeated politicians should not be appointed governors. 3. Persons with fair knowledge of Constitution and Indian polity should be preferred as governors. C. 1, 2 and as governors. Now the proposed answers are A. 1 only, B. 2 and 3 only, C. 1, 2 and 3 only, and D. 1 and 2 only. The correct answer is 1, 2 and 3. That is, the correct answer is C, that is 1, 2 and 3. 1. Governors should be appointed by a committee comprising the Prime Minister, Union Home Minister, the Speaker of the Lok Sabha and Chief Minister of the concerned state. 2. Retired or defeated politicians should not be appointed governors. 3. Persons with fair knowledge of Constitution and Indian polity should be preferred as governors. Exercise 37. Match list 1, thinker with list 2, concept. List 1, thinker, head list 1, thinker. Under the head list 1, thinker, in the vertical column, against serial number capital A, Graham Wells, against serial number capital B, Arthur Bentley, against serial number capital C, C. Merriam, against serial number capital D, Banfield. Under the head list 2, concept, serial number in the vertical column against serial number 1, politics as agitation, oblique resolution of conflict. Again, serial number 2, scientific approach. Serial number 3, concept of group. Serial number 4, analysis of man. Quote, in the horizontal column, the heads are capital A, capital B, capital C, capital D. Under the head capital A, in the vertical column again serial number A1, B4, C1 and D4. Under the head capital B, again serial number A3, B2, C2 and D3. Under the head capital C, again serial number A2, B3, C3 and D2. Under the head capital D, again serial number A4, B1, C4 and D1. The correct answer is D. That is under the head capital B, capital A, under the head capital A, Graham Walls. 4. That is analysis of man. Under the head capital B, Arthur Bentley. 3. That is concept of group. Under the head capital C, C. Merriam. 2. That is scientific approach. Under the head capital D, 1. That is politics as agitation, oblique resolution of conflict. Exercise 38. Which of the following is not correctly matched? A. Sociological approach. G. Catlin. B. Philosophical approach. Leo Tross. C. Historical approach. John Rawls. And D. Integrated approach. Carl J. Friedrich. The correct answer is C. That is historical approach. John Rawls. Historical approach was adopted by George Sabine. Exercise 39. Confronted by the prospects of an organic conception of nation, which one of the following has been advocated by liberals? A. Cultural nationalism. B. Multicultural nationalism. C. Civic nationalism. D. Imagined nationalism. The correct answer is C. That is civic nationalism. Exercise 40. Equalitarians find equality before law as inadequate to uphold the value of equality. Which one of the following is assigned as the reason by them? A. It does not take into account differences among persons. B. It does not take into account the unequal resources and assets that people possess. C. It does not take into account that certain talents and skills are undeservedly possessed. D. It does not take into account the fact the means of production are concentrated in a few hands, which imparts to its owners great influence. The correct answer is B. That is, it does not take into account the unequal resources and assets that people possess. Exercise 41. Which one of the following pairs is not correctly matched? A. A.V. Dickey, administrative law. B. Karl Marx, theory of alienation. And G. Jeremy Bentham, parliamentary reform. And D. S. Eldersveld, the single hypothesis trend study. The correct answer is A. A.V. Dickey, administrative law. A.V. Dickey was associated with the rule of law. Exercise 42. Who among the following used the phrase within inverted comma Asiatic mode of production inverted comma close to describe the non-European societies? A. John Locke. B. Thomas Hobbes. C. Karl Marx. D. John Stuart Mill. The correct answer is C. That is Karl Marx. Exercise 43. On what does the elitist theory of democracy tend to emphasize maximum? A. Representation over common good. B. Stability over participation. C. Rule of law over deliberation. And D. Tacit over explicit consent. The correct answer is B. That is stability over participation. Political Science Model Paper 5, page T 5.7. Exercise 44. In which one of the following studies does Karl Marx assert the autonomy of the political sphere? A. German ideology. B. Introduction to a critique of political economy. C. The 18th Brumaire of Louis Bonaparte. D. On the Jewish question. The correct answer is B. That is Introduction to a Critique of Political Economy. Exercise 45. Which of the following are the main arguments of trans-empiricists against empirical study? 1. Human behavior cannot be studied with objectivity. 2. Political phenomenon is not amendable to experimental inquiry. 3. A purely descriptive approach has no advantage. 4. Political science cannot refuse to show concern with questions of right and wrong. A. 1, 2 and 3 only. B. 1, 3 and 4 only. C. 1, 2 and 4 only. D. 2, 3 and 4 only. The correct answer is C, that is 1, 2 and 4 only. 1 represents human behavior cannot be studied with objectivity. 2. Political phenomenon is not amendable to experimental inquiry. And 4. Political science cannot refuse to show concern with questions of right and wrong. Exercise 46. Consider the following statements. 1. Positivism emphasized precision, constructive power and relativism. 2. Positivists understood meaningful analysis as a possible only through tautologies and empirical statements. 3. The empiricism believed that observation and experience as source of knowledge had no significance of positivism. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1, 2 and 3 only. B. 1 and 2 only. C. 2 and 3 only. D. 1 and 3 only. The correct answer is B, that is 1 and 2 only. 1. Positivism emphasized precision, constructive power and relativism. 2. Positivists understood meaningful analysis as possible only through tautologies and empirical statements. Exercise 47. A change in which of the following does not require ratification by the legislatures of not less than 1/2 of the states by the resolutions to that effect passed by both legislatures before the bill making provisions for an amendment in the Constitution of India is presented to the President for assent. A. Any of the lists in the 7th schedule. B. The provision of Article 368. C. Article 73 about extent of exclusive power of the Union. And D. Article 161 about power of governor to grant pardon. The correct answer is D, that is Article 161 about power of governor to grant pardon. I repeat, D. Article 161 about power of governor to grant pardon. Exercise 48. Which of the following theories posits a pre-political society as its point of departure? A. Communitarianism. B. Civil republicanism. C. Lockean liberalism. And D. Hobbes' theory of social contract. The correct answer is C, that is Lockean liberalism. Exercise 49. Match least one scholar with least two idea. Under the head least one scholar, in the vertical column against serial number capital A, John Seeley, against serial number capital B, G. Almond, against serial number capital C, R. A. Dahi, and against serial number D, Karl Popper. Under the head least two idea 1, in the vertical column against serial number 1, political system as persistent pattern of human relationship that involves to a significant extent power, rule or authority. Against serial number 2, political system as legitimate physical coercion. Against serial number 3, rejection of claims of traditional metaphysics to a cognitive status. Serial number 4, history without political science has no fruit. Political science without history has no root. Quote, in the horizontal column, the heads are capital A space, capital B space, capital C space, capital D. Under the head, capital A, in the vertical column against serial number A 4, B1, C4 and D1. Under the head, capital B, against in the vertical column against serial number A3, B2, C2 and D3. Under the head, capital C, in the vertical column against serial number A1, B4, C1 and D4. Against serial number capital D, in the vertical column against serial number A2, B4, B3, C3 and D2. The correct answer is C, that is under capital A, that is John Seeley. 4, that is history without political science has no fruit. Political science without history has no root. Against capital B, under the head capital B, that is G. Albon. 2, that is political system as legitimate physical coercion. Against under the head capital C, that is R. A. Dahi. Sorry, this is the pronunciation is C R capital A D A H L R A Dhal. Under the head capital C R A Dhal 1 R A Dhal. The answer is 1, that is political system as persistent pattern of human relationship that involves to a significant extent power, rule or authority. Under the head capital B, Karl Popper. 3, that is rejection of claims of traditional metaphysics to a cognitive status. Page T 4.4, Model Paper 4, Exercise 28. Which of the following approaches of or models of international politics does not give importance to the role of state as an actor? A. Dependency model, B. Realist model, C. Neo-realist model and D. Interdependence pluralist model. The correct answer is A, that is dependency model. Exercise 29. Which of the following movements was the source of the origin of the Naxalbari peasants' revolt? A. Telangana movement, B. Bhudan movement, C. Tevaga movement and D. Land grab movement. The correct answer is C, that is Tevaga movement. Exercise 30. Which of the following statements is not correct in respect of social movements? A. They favor protest that usually takes the form of direct action. B. They are not concerned with who owns the means of production. C. They believe only in the constitutional means of protest. D. Their emergence is partly because of the failure of traditional political parties. The correct answer C. They believe only in the constitutional means of protest. Exercise 31. Match list 1 theorists with list 2 concept. Under the head list 1 theorist in the vertical column against serial number capital A, Garke and Maitland. Under the against serial number capital B, Harold J. Lasky. Under against serial number capital C, Leon Dugit and against serial number capital D, Webbs. Under the list 2 concept in the vertical column against serial number 1, moral adequacy, serial number 2, social solidarity, serial number 3, real personality and serial number 4, social parliament and political parliament. Code in the horizontal column, the heads are capital A space capital B space capital C space capital D. Under the head capital A in the vertical column against serial number A4, B3, C4 and D3. Under the head capital B against in the vertical column against serial number A2, B1, C1 and D2. Under the head capital C in the vertical column against serial number A1, B2, C2 and D1. Under the head capital D in the vertical column against serial number A3, B4, C3 and D4. The correct answer is D, that is under the head capital A, Garke and Maitland. 4, that is social parliament and political parliament. Sorry. The correct answer is D. The correct answer is D. Wrong. The correct answer is D. I repeat, the correct answer is D. Under the head capital A, that is Garke and Maitland. 3, that is real personality. Under the head capital B, that is Harold J. Lasky. 2, that is socialist solidarity. Under the head capital C, that is Leon Dugit. 1, that is moral adequacy. Under the head capital D, Webbs. 4, that is socialist parliament and political parliament. Exercise 32. Match list 1 within bracket contribution with list 2 scholar. Under the head list 1 contribution, in the vertical column against serial number capital A, lectures on jurisprudence. Against serial number capital B, fragments of government. Against serial number capital C, the spirit of laws. Against serial number capital D, the prince. Under the head list 2 scholar, in the vertical column against serial number 1, Jeremy Bentham. Against serial number 2, John Austin. Against serial number 3, Niccolo Machiavelli. Under serial number 4, against serial number 4, Montesquieu. The code in the horizontal column, the heads are capital A, capital B, capital C, capital D. Under the head capital A, in the vertical column against serial number A3, B2, C3 and D2. Under the head capital D, against serial number in the vertical column against serial number A4, B1, C1 and D4. Under the head capital C, again in the vertical column against serial number A1, B4, C4 and D1. Under the head capital D, in the vertical column against serial number A2, B3, C2 and D3. The correct answer is B. That is under the head capital A, lectures on jurisprudence. 2, that is John Austin. Under the head capital B, fragments of government. 1, that is Jeremy Bentham. Under the head capital C, the spirit of laws. 4, that is Niccolo Machiavelli. Under the head capital D, the prince. Wrong. The correct answer is B. That is under the head capital A. I repeat, it is wrong. Wrong, it is repeated. Under the head capital A, lectures on jurisprudence. Lectures on jurisprudence. 2, that is John Austin. Under the head capital B, fragments of government. 1, that is Jeremy Bentham. Under the head capital C, that is the spirit of laws, that is Montesquieu. Under the head capital D, that is the prince. The correct answer is 3, that is Niccolo Machiavelli. Exercise 33. Match list 1 proponent with list 2 within bracket concept. Under the head list 1 proponent, in the vertical column against serial number capital A, David Aston. In the against serial number capital B, Hans Morgenthau. Under the against serial number C, Laswell by Kaplan. And against serial number capital D, Michael Foucault. Under the head list 2 concept, in the vertical column against serial number A, authoritative allocation of values. Against serial number 2, shaping and sharing of power. Against serial number 3, struggle for power. Against serial number 4, knowledge is power. The quotes in the horizontal column under the heads are capital A space capital B space capital C space capital D. Under the head capital A, in the vertical column against serial number A2, B1, C2 and D1. Under the head capital B, against serial number in the vertical column against serial number A3, B4, C4 and D3. Under the head capital C, in the vertical column against serial number A1, B2, C1 and D2. Under the head capital D, in the vertical column against serial number A4, B3, C3 and D4. The correct answer is D. That is under the head capital A, David Aston. 1, authoritative allocation of values. Under the head capital B, Hans Morgenthau. 3, that is struggle for power. Under the head capital C, that is Laswell oblique Kaplan. 2, that is shaping and sharing of power. Under the head capital D, Michael Foucault. 4, that is knowledge is power. Model paper 4, page T4.5. Exercise 34. Why do pluralists oppose the traditional concept of sovereignty? A, because other associations are as important as the state. B, because it comes in the way of international cooperation. C, because it is anti-democratic. And D, because it is ineffective. The correct answer is A, because other associations are as important as the state. Exercise 35. Who among the following theorized civil society as an ideological domain? A, Karl Marx. B, Hegel. C, Antonio Gramsci. and D. Noam Chomsky. The correct answer is C, that is Antonio Gramsci. Exercise 36. Consider the following statements. 1. Special officers post under Article 338 was substituted by the National Commission for Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes. 2. The Tribal Cooperative Marketing Development Federation of India procures and markets the non-timber forest products within bracket NTFP. 3. The First Backward Class Commission formulated 11 indicators based on social backwardness, educational backwardness and economic backwardness. Which of the statements given above is oblique are correct? A. 1 and 2, B. 2 and 3, C. 1, 2 and 3 and D. 2 only. The correct answer is A, that is 1 and 2. 1. Special officers post under Article 338 was submitted by the National Commission for Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes. 2. The Tribal Cooperative Marketing Development Federation of India procures and markets the non-timber forest products within bracket NTFP. Mondal Commission formulated 11 indicators. The first commission 36A. Mondal Commission formulated 11 indicators. The first commission, that is Kaka Shahid Kalelkar, used 4 indicators. Exercise 37. Consider the following statements. 1. Fascism can be described as a protagonist of a radical totalitarian state. 2. Hitler and Mussolini tried to transcend class conflict in the name of greater and higher ideal of nationalism. 3. Fascism accepted capitalism but did not stress its subordination to the ideal of welfare state. Which of the statements given above is oblique are correct? A. 1 and 2, B. 1, 2 and 3, C. 3 only and D. 2 and 3. The correct answer is A, that is 1 and 2. 1. Fascism can be described as a protagonist of a radical totalitarian state. 2. Hitler and Mussolini tried to transcend class conflict in the name of greater and higher ideal of nationalism. Exercise 38. Consider the following statements. 1. There was a special provision for the Anglo-Indian community in certain services under Article 336 of the Constitution of India. However, all such reservations were to cause at the end of 10 years from the commencement of the Constitution of India. 2. The Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes within bracket Prevention of Atrocities bracket closed Act was passed in 1955. 3. The Untouchability within bracket Offences Act was renamed as the Protection of Civil Rights Act. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1, 2 and 3, B. 1 and 2, C. 2 and 3 and D. 1 and 3. The correct answer will be A, that is 1, 2 and 3. That is, there was a special provision for the Anglo-Indian community in certain services under Article 336 of the Constitution of India. However, all such reservations were to cease at the end of 10 years from the commencement of the Constitution of India. 2. The Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes within bracket Prevention of Atrocities bracket closed Act was passed in 1955. 3. The Untouchability within bracket Offences Act was renamed as the Protection of Civil Rights Act. Exercise 39. Which country was appointed the first chairman of the Decolonization Committee of the United Nations? A. USA, B. Sweden, C. India and D. Japan. The correct answer is C, that is India. Exercise 40. Consider the following statements in respect of distribution between the Federation and the state governments. 1. As evidenced from the history of federations, there is no logical relationship between the location of residuary powers and the strength of the government. 2. Under the Commerce Clause of the American Constitution, enormous centralization has taken place in the American political system. Which of the statements given above is oblique are correct? A. 1 and 2, A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both A and 1 and 2, and D. neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is C, that is both 1 and 2. That is 1, as evidenced from the history of federations, there is no logical relationship between the location of residuary powers and the strength of the government. 2. Under the Commerce Clause of the American Constitution, enormous centralization has taken place in the American political system. Page D 5.8, Political Science, Model Paper 5, Exercise 50. Consider the following statements in respect of the Constitution of the United Kingdom. 1. All malleables within brackets so certified by the Speaker of the House of Commons bracket closed, if not passed in the House of Lords without amendment, may become law without the concurrence of the House of Lords within 1 month of introduction in the House of Lords. 2. The UK Parliament approves all laws for the Northern Ireland. Which of the statements given above is oblique are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, D. neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is C, that is both 1 and 2. 1. All malleables within bracket so certified by the Speaker of the House of Commons bracket closed, if not passed in the House of Lords without amendment, may become law without the concurrence of the House of Lords within 1 month of introduction in the House of Lords. 2. The UK Parliament approves all laws for Northern Ireland. Exercise 51. Which of the following is a characteristic of fascism? A. A reluctant faith in rule of law. B. Belief in omnipresence of state. C. Faith in rational nature of man. And D. Belief in free communication. The correct answer is B, that is belief in omnipresence of state. Exercise 52. Which of the following pairs is correctly matched? 1. Ronald Dworkin, environmental rights. B. John Rawls, integrational rights. C. W. Kimlicka, cultural rights. And D. Charles Taylor, rights of the disadvantaged. The correct answer is C, that is W. Kimlicka, cultural rights. Exercise 53. Match list 1 theory with list 2 within bracket propounder. Under the head list 1 theory, in the vertical column against serial number A, libertarian theory of justice, against serial number capital B, entertainment theory of justice, against serial number capital C, contraction theory of justice, against serial number capital D, feminist theory of justice. Under the head list 2 propounder, in the vertical list, against serial number 1 John Rawls, against serial number 2 Robert Nozick, against serial number 3 F.A. Hayek, against serial number 4 Janet Redleaf Richards. Code. In the horizontal column, the heads are capital A, capital B, capital C, capital D. Under the head capital A, in the vertical column against serial number A3, B1, C3 and D1. Under the head capital B, in the vertical column against serial number A4, B2, C2 and D4. Under the head capital C, in the vertical column against serial number A1, B3, C1 and D3. Under the head capital D, against serial number A2, B4, C4 and D2. The correct answer is C. That is under the head capital A, libertarian theory of justice. 3, that is F.A. Hayek. Under the head capital B, that is entertainment theory of justice. 2, that is Robert Nozick. Under the head capital C, that is contraction theory of justice. 1, that is John Rawls. Under the head capital D, that is F.A. Hayek. Under the head capital D, that is feminist theory of justice. 4, that is Janet Redleaf Richards. Exercise 54. Consider the following statements. For Gramsci, civil society is the arena of 1. Consent over coercion. 2. Hegemony over domination. 3. Leadership over power. 4. Reconciliation over struggle. Which of the statements given above is oblique are correct? A. 1, 2, 3 and 4. B. 1, 2 and 3 only. C. 1 and 2 only. D. 4 only. The correct answer is 1, 2, 3 and 4. The answer 1 represents consent over coercion, 2 represents hegemony over domination, 3 represents leadership over power, 4 represents reconciliation over struggle. Exercise 55. What does the principles of subsidiarity often invoked in the context of the European Union stand for? A. Subsidizing the poor countries and regions vis-a-vis the rich and prosperous. B. Restricting the influence of the subsidiary units of the multinational companies. C. Decentralization and popular participation benefiting the local and the provincial interests and ethos. D. Adoption of a less developed region or country by a developed nation. The correct answer is A, that is subsidizing the poor countries and regions vis-a-vis the rich and prosperous. Exercise 56. What does deliberative democracy lay emphasis on? A. Aggregation of individual preferences into a collective choice. B. Mobilization of people towards ideals and norms upheld by a wide variety of groups and committees. C. Dialogue and deliberation among citizens considered equal. D. According equal weight to each person's preferences. The correct answer is B, that is dialogue and deliberation among citizens considered equal. Exercise 57. Consider the following statements. The Republic view of democracy argues 1. Full and active participation of citizens. 2. Accommodation and compromise between competing interests. 3. People are the bearers of democracy that cannot be delegated. 4. People cannot have others to represent them. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1, 2 and 3 only. B. 1, 3 and 4 only. C. 2 and 4 only. D. 1, 2, 3 and 4 only. The correct answer is D, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1. Full and active participation of citizens. 2. Accommodation and compromise between competitive interests. 3. People are the bearers of democracy that cannot be delegated. 4. People cannot have others to represent them. Political Science, Model Paper 5, page T 5.9. Exercise 58. Which of the following pairs are correctly matched? 1. Classical liberalism, John Locke. 2. Equalitarian liberalism, John Maynard Keynes. 3. Neoliberalism, T.H. Green. 4. Neoliberalism, Bernard Bosanquet. A. 1 and 4 only. B. 1 and 3 only. C. 2 and 4 only. D. 3 and 4 only. The correct answer is A. That is 1 and 4 only. 1. Classical liberalism, John Locke. 4. New liberalism, Bernard Bosanquet. Exercise 58. Exercise 58. A. The word within inverted comma new liberalism is in relation to old, that is classical liberalism. In Weber's view, which one of the following further stimulated the growth of bureaucratization? A. Pressures of democratization. B. Influence of socialism. C. Emergence of welfare state. And D. Rise of authoritarianism. The correct answer is A, that is pressure of democratization. Exercise 60. Which one of the following pairs is not correctly matched? A. Rationalism, Thomas Hobbes. B. Positivism, Leo Strauss. C. Structuralism, Louis Althusser. D. Post-structuralism, Michael Foucault. The correct answer is B, that is positivism, Leo Strauss. Strauss was an idealist and hence the advocate of the philosophical approach. Exercise 61. Which one among the following pairs is correctly matched? A. Theory of center-periphery, Rosa Luxemburg. B. Theory of hegemony, V.I. Lenin. C. Theory of neo-colonialism, K. Nkrumah. D. Theory of underdevelopment, Robert Cox. The correct answer is C, that is Theory of neo-colonialism, K. Nkrumah. Exercise 62. Consider the following statements about game theory. 1. It is a branch of mathematics concerned with predicting bargaining outcomes. 2. It was first used extensively in the international relations in 1950 and 1960s by scholars trying to understand US-Soviet nuclear war contingencies. 3. It is a general theory of international relations. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1, 2 and 3, B. 1 and 2 only, C. 2 and 3 only, and D. 1 and 3 only. The correct answer is 1 and 2 only. 1. It is a branch of mathematics concerned with predicting bargaining of its outcomes. 2. It was first used extensively in international relations in 1950 and 1960s by scholars trying to understand US-Soviet nuclear war contingencies. Game theory is not a general theory, it is a particular theory. Exercise 63. Match list 1, Constitution Amendment Act, with list 2, broad subject. Under list 1, Constitution Amendment Act, in the vertical column against serial number capital A, 52nd Amendment Act. Against serial number capital B, 57th Amendment Act. Against serial number capital C, 61st Amendment Act. Against serial number capital D, 65th Amendment Act. Under the head list 2, broad subject. Against serial number 1, National Commission for Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes. Against serial number 2, voting age reduction. Serial number 3, reservation of seats, Scheduled Tribes and Nagaland of Scheduled Tribes of Nagaland, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh in the Lok Sabha. Against serial number 4, anti-defection law. Against serial number 5, municipalities. Code in the horizontal column. The heads are capital A, capital B, capital C and capital D. Under the head capital A, in the vertical column against serial number A4, B2, C4 and D2. Under the head capital B against serial number A1, B3, C3 and D1. Under the head capital C against in the vertical column against serial number A2, B5, C2 and D5. Under the head capital D against serial number A3, B1, C1 and D3. The correct answer is C, that is under the head capital A, 52nd Amendment Act. 4, that is anti-defection law. Under the head capital B, that is 57th Amendment Act. 3, that is reservation of seats for scheduled tribes of Nagaland, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh in the Lok Sabha. Exercise capital C 2, that is capital C means 61st Amendment Act. 2, that is voting age reduction. Exercise capital D, that is 65th Amendment Act. 1, that is National Commission for Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes. Page T5.10. Exercise 64. Political Science, Model Paper 5. Which of the following schedules of the Constitution of India deals with the allocation of seats in the Council of States? A. 3rd schedule, B. 4th schedule, C. 6th, 5th schedule and D. 6th schedule. The correct answer is B, that is 4th schedule. Exercise 65. In which one of the following cases did the majority of the Supreme Court propound the view that by adopting the expression procedure established by law, Article 21 of our Constitution had embodied the English concept of personal liberty in preference to that of the American within inverted comma due process? A. Gopalan versus State of Madras, B. Maneka versus Union of India, C. Keshavananda versus State of Kerala, and D. Minerva Mills versus Union of India. The correct answer is B, that is Maneka versus Union of India. Exercise 66. Which one of the following articles of the Constitution of India deals with the saving of laws giving effect to certain directive principles? A. Article 32, B. Article 31A, C. Article 31B, D. Article 31C. The correct answer is D, that is Article 31C. Exercise 67. Consider the following statements. 1. If a bill other than money bill is returned by the President of India for reconsideration of the Houses and the bill is again passed by both Houses of Parliament with or without amendment and again presented to the President, then it is not obligatory upon him to declare his assent to it. 2. A bill for the purpose of formation of new states and alteration of areas, boundaries or names of existing states can be introduced in either House of Parliament and no recommendation of the President is required for the introduction of such a bill. Which of the four statements given above is oblique are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, and D. neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is neither 1 and 2. Exercise 68. Consider the following statements. Public interest litigation intends to 1. Redress public utility injury, 2. Enforce public duty, 3. Protect diffused rights, and 4. Reprimed the law enforcing agency. Which of the statements given above is correct? A. 1, 2 and 4 only, B. 1, 2 and 3 only, C. 2, 3 and 4 only, and D. 1, 3 and 4 only. The correct answer is B, that is 1, 2 and 3 only. 1. Redress public injury, 2. Enforces public duty, and 3. Protect diffused rights. Exercise 69. What does the term within inverted comma epistolary jurisdiction inverted comma close of the court imply? A. Power to take suo motu action without a formal petition. B. Relaxation in the court procedures. C. Enlarging scope of a writ petition. And D. Transferring a case to the constitutional bench. The correct answer is A. Power to take suo motu action without a formal petition. Exercise 70. What is the subject of the 91st Constitution within bracket Amendment Act 2004? A. Right of information. B. Limiting the size of Council of Ministers. C. Right of education. And D. Elimination of corruption at all levels. The correct answer is B, that is limiting the size of Council of Ministers. Exercise 71. Which of the following has not been advanced by Gabriel Almond as a category of interest groups? A. Institutional interest group, B. Associational interest group, C. Non-associational interest group, and D. Attitudinal interest group. The correct answer is C, that is non-associational interest group. Exercise 72. Which of the following statements about the impeachment of the President of India is not correct? A. The charge. The answer I repeat, before going to exercise 72, the correct answer of exercise 71 is C, that is non-associational interest group. Now, exercise 72. Which of the following statements about the impeachment of the President of India is not correct? A. The charge for violation of the Constitution shall be preferred by either House of Parliament. B. The resolution has to be moved after at least 30 days notice in writing. C. The resolution has to be signed by not less than 1/4 of the total number of members of the House, and D. The resolution has to be passed by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the total membership of the House. The correct answer is B, that is, the resolution has to be moved after at least 30 days notice in writing. Political Science Model Paper 5, page T 5.11. Exercise 33. Exercise 73. Some socialists hold that employee unions should be, within inverted comma, encroaching control, inverted comma close, seek to wrest the direction of industries from the capitalists. Which of the following schools upholds this viewpoint? A. Marxian socialism, B. Guild socialism, C. Democratic socialism, and D. Fabian socialism. The correct answer is B, that is Guild socialism. Exercise 74. Which of the following is are the detriments of pressure group methods? 1. The political institutional structure, 2. The nature of the party system, and 3. The political culture. A. 1, 2 and 3, B. 1 and 2 only, C. 3 only, and D. 1 and 3 only. The correct answer is A, that is 1, 2 and 3 only. 1. The political institutional structure, 2. The nature of the party system, and 3. The political culture. Exercise 75. Consider the following. 1. Orientation of problem solving. 2. Orientation to collective action. 3. Orientation of the political system. 4. Orientation to other people. Who among the following has listed the above as the salient feature of political culture? A. Robert Dull, B. John Locke, C. Jeremy Bentham, and D. John Stuart Mill. The correct answer is A, that is Robert Dull. Exercise 76. Consider the following statements. 1. Jeremy Bentham preserved the individualist notion of moral autonomy. 2. Jeremy Bentham supported the idea that division of power secured and protected constitutional liberty. Which of the statements given above is are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both A and 1 and 2, and D. neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is C, that is both 1 and 2. Exercise 77. Consider the following statements about SARC. S capital A, S capital S double capital A, capital R, capital C. 1. And air transport is one of the subjects included in the agreed areas of cooperation made under the integrated program of action, within bracket IFA. 2. The charter establishing SARC, capital S double capital A RC, was adopted at the first summit meeting in Dhaka. 3. The foreign ministers of the 7 member countries met for the first time in Colombo in 1983 and adopted the declaration of SARC, S capital double capital A, capital R, capital C. Which of the statements given above is are correct? A. 1 and 2 only, B. 1 and 3 only, C. 2 only, C. 2 only, and D. 3 only. The correct answer is A, that is 1 and 2 only. 1. Air transport is one of the subjects included in the agreed areas of cooperation made under the integrated program of action, within bracket IPA, bracket close. 2. The charter establishing SARC, SAARC, was adopted as at the first summit meeting in Dhaka. Exercise 78. Consider the following statements in respect of Lok Adalats. 1. Lok Adalats function on the principle of mutual consent and voluntary acceptance of the solution. 2. Lok Adalats are like parajudicial institutions. C. 3. Lok Adalats in a state are constituted by the High Court of the state. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1, 2 and 3 only. B. 1 and 2 only. C. 2 and 3 only. D. 1 and 3 only. The correct answer is 1, 2 and 3 only. 1 represent Lok Adalat's function on the principle of mutual consent and voluntary acceptance of the solution. 2. Lok Adalats are like parajudicial institutions. 3. Lok Adalats in a state are constituted by the High Court of the state. Exercise 79. Which of the following were emphasized as foci for the new thrust in elementary education by the National Policy on Education 1986? 1. Universal access and enrollment. 2. Universal retention of children up to 14 years of age. 3. A substantial improvement in the quality of education to enable all children to achieve essential levels of learning. 4. To include education in the concurrent list. A. 1, 2 and 4 only. B. 1, 2 and 3 only. And C. 1, 3 and 4 only. And D. 2, 3 and 4 only. The correct answer is A, that is 1, 2 and 4 only. 1 means universal access and enrollment. 2. Universal retention of children up to 14 years of age. 4. To include education in the concurrent list. Exercise 80. Which of the following acts introduced diarchy in the provinces? A. Indian Councils Act of 1861, B. Indian Councils Act of 1892, C. Indian Councils Act of 1909, and D. Indian Councils Act of 1919. The correct answer is D, that is Indian Councils Act of 1919. Page T 5.12, Political Science, Model Paper 5, Exercise number 81. Consider the following statements. 1. Parliament may by law provide that neither the Supreme Court nor any other court shall exercise jurisdiction in respect of any dispute or complaint with respect to the use, distribution or control of the waters of or in any interstate river or river valley. 2. River Boards Act 1956 provides for reference of an interstate river dispute for arbitration by a water dispute tribunal. Which of the statements given above is oblique are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, and D. neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is D, that is neither 1 and 2. Exercise 82. Consider the following statements. 1. The nature of a bill, if it is certified by the Speaker of the House of People as a money bill, is not open to question in a court of law. 2. The President of India has the power to question the nature of a bill to be taken as a money bill, even if it is certified to be so by the Speaker of the House of People. Which of the statements given above is oblique are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, and D. neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is A, that is 1 only. The nature of a bill, if it is certified by the Speaker of the House of the People as a money bill, is not open to question in a court of law. Exercise 83. Who among the following developed the view that political process is essentially a decision-making process and all factors relevant to the making of decisions can be subjected to systematic empirical examination? A. Harold Laswell, B. Richard Snyder, and C. Gabriel Almond, and D. James Coleman. The correct answer is B, that is Richard Snyder. Exercise 84. Consider the following statements. Since the sums required to meet expenditure described by the Constitution of India as expenditures charged upon the Consolidated Fund of India are not submitted to the vote of Parliament, no House is competent to discuss these estimates. 2. Annual Finance Bill provides the legal authority for the withdrawal of sums from the Consolidated Fund of India. Which of the statements given above is of the are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, D. neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is C, that is both 1 and 2. 1. Since the sums required to meet expenditure described by the Constitution of India as expenditure charged upon the Consolidated Fund of India are not submitted to the vote of Parliament, no House is competent to discuss these estimates. 2. Annual Finance Bill provides the legal authority for the withdrawal of sums from the Consolidated Fund of India. Exercise 85. Consider the following statements. 1. According to Article 243D, 1/3 of the seats are reserved for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in every panchayat. 2. Not less than 1/3 of the total number of seats reserved for the SCs and STs are reserved for women belong to the scheduled castes or, as the case may be, the scheduled tribes. 3. Not less than 1/3 of the total number of offices of chairpersons in panchayats at each level are reserved for women. Which of the statements given above is correct? The proposed answers are A. 1 and 2 only, B. 2 and 3 only, C. 1 and 3 only, D. 1, 2 and 3 only. 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is D, that is 1, 2 and 3. 1. According to Article 243D, 1/3 of the seats are reserved for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in every panchayat. 2. Not less than 1/3 of the total number of seats reserved for the SCs and STs are reserved for women belonging to the scheduled castes or, as the case may be, the scheduled tribes. 3. Not less than 1/3 of the total number of office of chairpersons in panchayats at each level are reserved for women. Exercise 86. Consider the following statements. 1. Courts have no jurisdiction to examine the validity of a law relating to delimitation of constituencies or allotments of seats in respect of panchayats. 2. An election to a panchayat can be called in question only by an election petition which should be presented to such authority and in such manner as may be prescribed by the State Election Commission. Which of the statements given above is of the are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, D. neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is C, that is both 1 and 2. 1. Courts have no jurisdiction to examine the validity of a law relating to delimitation of constituencies or allotments of seats in respect of panchayats. 2. An election to a panchayat can be called in question only by an election petition which should be presented to such authority and in such manner as may be prescribed by the State Election Commission. It's Political Science Model Paper 5, page T 5.13, exercise 87. According to Karl Marx, 4 different types of societies emerged during the course of human history. Which one of the following is the correct chronological order of emergence of those societies? A. Slave, feudal, primitive communism, capitalist. B. Feudal, primitive communism, slave and communist. C. Primitive communalism, slave, feudal, capitalist. D. Communist, feudal, slave, socialist. The correct answer is C, that is primitive communism, slave, feudal, capitalist. Exercise 88. Match list 1, nature of state, with list 2. List 2 within bracket, ideology. Under the head list 1, nature of state, in the vertical column against serial number capital A, state is an evil necessitated by the selfishness and rapacity of man. B against serial number capital B, state is the embodiment of the best in every man. Against serial number capital C, state is a cooperative commonwealth aiming at positive good. Against serial number 4, state is absolute, permanent, omnipotent and supernaturally sanctioned institution. Under the head list 2, ideology. In the vertical column again, serial number 1, socialism, serial number 2, fascism, serial number 3, Gandhism, serial number 4, individualism, and serial number 5, idealism. Quote. In the horizontal column, the heads are A, capital B, capital C, and capital G. Under the head capital A, in the vertical column again, serial number A1, B4, C4, and D1. Under the head capital B, in the vertical column again, serial number A5, B2, C5, and D2. Under the head capital C, in the vertical column again, serial number A3, B1, C1, and D3. Under the head capital B, again serial number A2, B5, C2, and D5. The correct answer is C. That is under serial number capital A. That is, state is an evil necessitated by the selfishness and rapacity of men. That 4. That is individualism. Under the head capital B, state is the embodiment of the best in every man. 5. That is idealism. Under the head capital C, state is a cooperative commonwealth aiming at positive good. 1. That is socialism. Under the head capital D, state is under the head capital D, state is absolute, permanent, omnipotent, and supernaturally sanctioned institution. 2. That is fascism. Exercise 89. Who among the following categorized the development of liberal democracy into 4 models: protective, developmental, equilibrium, and participatory? The A. Harold Lasky, B. L.T. Hobhouse, C. C.B. Macpherson, and D. Joseph Schumpeter. The correct answer is C. That is C.B. Macpherson. See his book, The Life and Times of Liberal Democracy. Exercise 90. Who among the following thinkers formulated the concept of positive and negative liberty? A. Karl Marx, B. C.B. Macpherson, C. Isaiah Berlin, and D. Michael Oakeshott. The correct answer is C. That is Isaiah Berlin. Correct answer is C. That is Isaiah Berlin. Exercise 91. Who among the following was the chief exponent of the legal theory of sovereignty? A. Godin, B. Locke, C. Rousseau, and D. Austin. The correct answer is D. That is Austin. Exercise 92. Part 14. A. Inserted by the Constitution within bracket 42nd Amendment Act 1976 in the Constitution of India deals with which of the following? 1. Administrative tribunals. 2. Adjudication or trial by tribunals in respect of enforcement of any tax. 3. Adjudication or trial by tribunals in respect of sealing or on urban property. And 4. Adjudication or trial by tribunals in respect of industrial and labor disputes. The proposed answers are A. 1, 2, 3 and 4, B. 1, 2 and 3 only, C. 3 and 4 only, D. 1 and 4 only. The correct answer is A. That is 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1. Administrative tribunals. 2. Adjudication or trial by tribunals in respect of enforcement of any tax. 3. Adjudication or trial by tribunals in respect of sealing on urban property. 4. Adjudication or trials by tribunals in respect of industrial and labor disputes. Exercise 93. Which of the following indicates a relationship between inputs and outputs of a democratic political system? A. Extractive capability, B. Regulative capability, C. Distributive capability, and D. Responsive capability. The correct answer is C. That is distributive capability. S terms description of authoritative allocation, that is distribution of values. Page T 5.14, Political Science, Model Paper 5, Exercise 94. Which of the following schedules of the Constitution of India incorporate salaries and allowances of members of Parliament and chairman and deputy chairman of the Rajya Sabha and speaker and deputy speaker of the Lok Sabha as one of the items. A. 5th schedule, B. 7th schedule, C. 9th schedule and D. 10th schedule. The correct answer is B, that is 7th schedule. Exercise 95. Which of the following statements is correct? The members of the Constitution, which one of the following wrong? I repeat, exercise 95. Which of the following statements is correct? The members of the Constituent Assembly were A. Elected through indirect elections by the members of the provincial legislative assemblies within bracket lower house only. B. Elected directly by the people. C. Nominated by the government. D. Elected by the local self-government bodies. Correct answer is A, that is elected through indirect elections by the members of the provincial legislative assemblies within bracket lower house only. Exercise 96. Match list 1 with list 2. Under the head list 1, in the vertical column against serial number A, bicameral system, serial number B, legislative devolution, serial number C, separate electorate, serial number D, provincial authority. Under the head list 2, in the vertical column against serial number 1, Government of India Act 1935, against serial number 2, Indian Councils Act 1861, against serial number 3, Montagu Claims Port, against serial number 4, Indian Councils Act 1892, against serial number 5, Minto Morley Reforms. Court, in the horizontal column, capital A space, capital B space, capital C space, capital D. Under the head capital A, in the vertical column against serial number A5, B3, C5 and D3. Under the head capital B, in the vertical column against serial number A1, B2, C2 and D1. Under the head capital C, in the vertical column against serial number A4, B5, C4 and D5. Under the head capital D, in the vertical column against serial number A2, B1, C1 and D2. The correct answer is B, that is under the head capital A, bicameral system 3, that is Montagu Claims Port. Under the head capital B, legislative devolution 2, that is Indian Councils Act 1861. Under the head capital C, separate electorate 5, that is Minto Morley Reforms. Under the head capital D, provincial autonomy 1, that is Government of India Act 1935. Exercise 97. In South Africa, how is the presidential cabinet constituted? A. By presidential discretion, B. By single party majority, C. By proportional representation of coalition partners, D. By proportional representation of political parties. The correct answer is D, by proportional representation of political parties. Exercise 98. In the Federal Republic of Germany, the authority to declare a political party unconstitutional lies with which one of the following? A. Bundestag, B. Bundesrat, C. Federal Government, D. Federal Constitutional Court. The correct answer is D, that is Federal Constitutional Court. Exercise 99. In the United Kingdom, with which of the following is the Lord Chancellor associated? 1. Member of the House of Commons, 2. Member of the House of Lords, 3. The head of judiciary, 4. Minister in the Council of Ministers. A. 1, 2 and 4 only, B. 1, 2 and 3 only, C. 2, 3 and 4 only and D. 1, 3 and 4 only. The correct answer is C, that is 2, 3 and 4 only. 2. Member of the House of Lords, 3. The head of judiciary and 4. Minister in the Council of Ministers. Exercise 100. How was the Bill of Rights incorporated in the Constitution of the United States of America? A. By the first 10 amendments of the Constitution, B. By the 27th Amendment of the Constitution, C. By the first 12 amendments of the Constitution, D. By the insertion of a preamble. The correct answer is A, by the first 10 amendments of the Constitution. Exercise 101. Which of the following pairs is correctly matched? A. Lucian Pie, political, cultural and political development. B. SP Huntingdon. B. Wrong. B. SP Huntington, political modernization and political culture in Japan. C. Robert E. Ward, political development and political decay. D. D. David E. After modernization, the dynamics of growth. The correct answer is A. That is Lucian Pye, political culture and political development. Political science, model paper 5, page T 5.15. Exercise number 102. Consider the following statements. 1. A bill returned by the President for reconsideration does not lapse on the dissolution of the Lok Sabha. 2. A bill passed by the Lok Sabha and pending in the Rajya Sabha. Wrong. Page 5.15. I repeat, political science, model paper 5, exercise 102. Consider the following statements. 1. A bill returned by the President for reconsideration does not lapse on the dissolution of the Lok Sabha. 2. A bill passed by the Lok Sabha and pending in the Rajya Sabha lapses on the dissolution of the Lok Sabha. 3. A bill under consideration of the Lok Sabha lapses when the Lok Sabha is prorogued. 4. A bill originating in the Rajya Sabha which has not been, I repeat, 4. A bill originating in the Rajya Sabha which has not been passed by the Lok Sabha and which is still pending in the Rajya Sabha does not lapse. Which of the statements given above is correct? A. 2, 3 and 4. B. 1 and 2 only. C. 3 and 4 only. And D. 1, 2 and 4 only. The correct answer is A. That is 2, 3 and 4 only. 2. A bill passed by the Lok Sabha and pending in the Rajya Sabha lapses on the dissolution of the Lok Sabha. 3. A bill under consideration of the Lok Sabha lapses when the Lok Sabha is prorogued. 4. A bill originating in the Rajya Sabha which has not been passed by the Lok Sabha and which is still pending in the Rajya Sabha does not lapse. Exercise 103. Which one of the following committees is constituted by the Lok Sabha but comprises members of the Rajya Sabha also? A. Business Advisory Committee. B. The Committee of the Public Undertakings. C. Public Accounts Committee. And D. Rules Committee. The correct answer is C. That is Public Accounts Committee. 15 members from the Lok Sabha and 7 from the Rajya Sabha. Exercise 104. Consider the following statements. 1. The Comptroller and Auditor General of India has no control over the issue of withdrawal of money from the Consolidated Fund of India. 2. The term of the office of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India has been fixed by an act enacted by Parliament. Which of the statements given above is of the correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, and D. neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is C. That is both 1 and 2. 1. The Comptroller and Auditor General of India has no control over the issue of withdrawal of money from the Consolidated Fund of India. 2. The term of the office of the Comptroller and Auditor General of India has been fixed by an act enacted by Parliament. Exercise 105. Match list 1, jurisdiction, with list 2, type of cases. Under the head list 1, jurisdiction, in the vertical column, again serial number 1, appellate jurisdiction, serial number A, capital A, serial number capital A, appellate jurisdiction, serial number capital B, advisory jurisdiction, serial number capital C, miscellaneous powers. Under the head list 2, types of cases, again serial number, in the vertical column, again serial number 1, acts as a court of record and also has power to review its own judgments. 2. Any question of law or fact of public importance referred. 3. Civil cases, criminal cases, constitutional cases. Code, in the horizontal column, the heads are capital A, capital B, capital C. Under the head capital A, in the vertical column, again serial number A3, B2, C3 and D2. Under the head capital B, in the vertical column, again serial number A2, B3, C1 and D1. Under the head capital C, in the vertical column, again serial number A1, B1, C2 and D3. The correct answer is A. That is under the head capital A, appellate jurisdiction. 3. Civil cases, criminal cases, constitutional cases. Under the head capital B, advisory jurisdiction. 2. Any question of law or fact of public importance referred. Under the head capital C, miscellaneous powers. 1. Acts as a court of record and also has power to review its own judgments. Exercise 106. Match list 1 within bracket commission / committee. with list 2 subject. Under the list 1 commission oblique committee, in the vertical column against serial number capital A, Raja Mannar committee, against serial number capital B, Sarkaria commission, against serial number capital C, Kaka Kalelkar commission. Under the head list 2 subject, in the vertical column against serial number 1, vertical backward classes, against serial number 2, linguistic division of states, against serial number 3, administrative reforms, serial number 4, center-state relations. Court, in the horizontal column, in the heads are capital A, capital B and capital C. Under the head capital A, in the vertical column against serial number A2, B3, C2. Under the head capital B, in the vertical column against serial number A1, B4, C4. Under the head capital C, against serial number A3, B1 and C1. The correct answer is B. That is under the head capital B, Raja Mannar Committee, 3, that is administrative reforms. Under the head capital B, Sarkaria Commission, 4, that is center-state relations. Under the head capital C, Kaka Kalelkar Commission, 1, that is backward classes. Exercise Political Science Model Paper 5, page T 5.16. Exercise 107. Article 359 of the Constitution of India deals with which one of the following? A. Declaration of financial emergency. B. Promulgation of President's rule in a state. C. Suspension of the enforcement of fundamental rights except a few during emergency. D. Terms and conditions of service of members of the Union Public Service Commission. The correct answer is C. That is suspension of the enforcement of fundamental rights except a few during emergency. Exercise 106. Consider the following statements in respect of provisions for removing deadlock between the two houses of Parliament. After a bill has been passed by one house and transmitted to the other house, the President may notify to the houses his intention to summon them for a joint sitting. If 1. The bill is rejected by the other house, 2. The house have finally disagreed as to the amendments to be made in the bill. 3. More than 3 months have elapsed from the date of the receipt of the bill by the other house without the bill being passed by it. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1, 2 and 3, B. 1 and 2 only, C. 2 and 3 only, and D. 1 and 3 only. The correct answer is B, that is 1 and 2 only. 1. The bill is rejected by the courthouse. 2. The house have finally disagreed as to the amendments to be made in the bill. Exercise 109. In which of the following cases the attempt to confer a primacy upon the directive principles of state policy as against the fundamental rights was foiled by the majority of the Supreme Court? A. Indra Sahani versus Union of India. B. Shankari Prasad versus Union of India. C. Minerva Mills versus Union of India. And D. Bennett Coleman versus Union of India. The correct answer is C, that is Minerva Mills versus Union of India. Exercise 110. Consider the following statements about the game called Prisoner's Dilemma. 1. It is a situation in which rational players will choose moves that produce an outcome in which all players are worse off. 2. The game has been used to gain insight into arms race. 3. This game represents two male teenagers spreading towards a head-on collision. Which of the statements given above is oblique are correct? A. 2 and 3 only, B. 1 and 2 only, C. 3 only, and D. 2 only. The correct answer is B, that is 1 and 2 only. 1. It is a situation in which rational players will choose moves that produce an outcome in which all players are worse off. 2. The game has been used to gain insight into arms race. Exercise 111. Consider the following statements about the organizational process model of decision making. 1. Officials choose the action whose consequences best help to meet the state's established goals. 2. Decisions result from routine administrative procedure. Which of the statements given above is oblique are correct? A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. both 1 and 2, and D. neither 1 and 2. The correct answer is 2, that is 2 only. That is, decisions result from routine administrative procedure. Exercise 112. In this, within inverted commas, stages approach to development, inverted comma close, who among the following proposed the savage and the pastoral stages? A. Karl Marx, B. Friedrich List, C. Bruno Hildebrand, and D. W. Rostow. The correct answer is B, that is Friedrich List. Exercise 113. Match list 1 scholar with list 2 concept oblique theory. Under the head list 1 scholar, in the vertical column against serial number capital A, Michael Crozier. Against serial number capital B, Robert Michaels. Against serial number capital C, Fred Riggs. Against serial number capital D, Bruno Ricci. Under the head list 2 concept oblique theory, again in the vertical column against serial number 1, iron law of oligarchy. Against serial number serial number 2, the bureaucratic phenomenon. Serial number 3, prismatic bureaucracy. Serial number 4, the bureaucratization of the world. Quote. In the horizontal column, the heads are capital A, capital B, capital C, and capital D. Under the head capital A, in the vertical column, against serial number A, 2, B, 3, C, 2, D, 3. Under the head capital B, in the vertical column, against serial number A, 4, B, 1, C, 1, D, 4. Under the head capital C, in the vertical column, against serial number A, 3, B, 2, C, 3, and D, 2. Under the head capital D, against serial number A, 1, B, 4, C, 4, and D, 1. The correct answer is C, that is under the head capital A, that is Michael Crozier. 2, that is the bureaucratic phenomenon. Under the head capital B, Robert Michaels. 1, that is iron law of oligarchy. Under the head capital C, that is Fred Riggs. 3, that is prismatic bureaucracy. Under the head capital D, Bruno Ricci. 4, the bureaucratization of the world. Page T 5.17. Political Science, Model Paper 5. Exercise 114. Which of the following pairs is not correctly matched? A. Maurice Duverger, European political parties. B. Sigmund Newman, modern political parties. C. Robert F. Mackenzie, British political parties. D. Epstein, political parties in Western democracies. The correct answer is Maurice Duverger, European political parties. Duverger's book was Political Parties. Exercise 115. Which of the following is correctly matched? Author. Under the head author, in the vertical column against serial number A, Ronald Dworkin. Under the head text, political liberalism. Under the head author, in the vertical column against serial number B, John Locke. Under the head text against B, John Locke, and essay on tolerance. Under the head author, C, John Stuart Mills. Against John Stuart Mills, the text are taking rights seriously. Under the head author, D, Charles Taylor. Against Charles Taylor, the text is on liberty. The correct answer is B, that is under the head author, John Locke. Under the head text against John Locke, and essay on tolerance. Exercise 116. What is the doctrine of separation of powers meant to ensure? A. Representation, B. Efficiency, C. Participation, and D. Checks and balances. The correct answer is B. The correct answer is B, that is efficiency. Exercise 117. Consider the following statements. Organized working class movement has remained deeply suspicious of the modes of representation prevalent in capitalist societies because it feels 1. Representative acting as trustees uphold hegemonic concerns. 2. Representative acting as delegates become spokespersons of dominant interests. 3. Parties carry out their mandates without marking a serious dent in prevailing social relations. 4. Even if a representative resembles members of the working classes, soon he or she comes to be co-opted within structures of powers. Which of the statements given above are correct? A. 1 and 2 only, B. 1, 2 and 3 only, C. 1, 3 and 4 only, and D. 1, 2, 3 and 4. That is, 1. Representative acting as trustees of all hegemonic concerns. 2. Representative acting as delegates become spokespersons of dominant interests. 3. Parties carry out their mandates without marking a serious dent in prevailing social relations. 4. Even if a representative resembles members of the working classes, soon he or she comes to be co-opted within structures of power. Exercise 118. Which of the following theories of democracy was propounded by Joseph Schumpeter? A. Elitist democratic theory, B. the theory of people's democracy, C. the theory of legal democracy, and D. the theory of participatory democracy. The correct answer is A, that is elitist democratic theory. Exercise 119. Which one of the following is the correct statement? The idea of social citizenship calls for A. socially committed citizens, B. expansion of civil and political rights of citizens, C. pursuit of socialist politics with active citizens' participation, D. expansion of social and welfare rights. The correct answer is A, that is socially committed. The idea of social citizenship calls for A. specially committed citizens. Exercise 120. Which one of the following international organizations was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in the year 1977? A. Worldwide Fund for Nature, B. Amnesty International, C. International Committee of the Red Cross, D. Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. The correct answer is B, that is Amnesty International.